welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second video where I will be doing some jiggle physics for my eyes and learning a lot from the process, which I'll do a yap over for the rest of this video. But thank you for coming along with my vtuber journey, and if you want to keep coming along or want to join early or during pre-debut, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you want. Well, let's get into the rigging. Alright, let's get into this rigging. So for today's video, what I had planned to do was get everything that is needed in the eye parameters and put it in a folder. And I'm once again following Merely Waifu's tutorials on her YouTube channel. So I will put her channel and everything in the description below, because these videos are not tutorials for learning how to rig. These are just rig with me's in a way. But once I had figured out how to once I had moved the parameters into the folder to kind of help with management, I was moving the eyes for the start of the jiggle physics for eyes, and I had kind of noticed that some of the shines in my eyes weren't there, but I remember drawing them, so I wasn't too sure what happened. But I kind of moved on and started the squish and squash process and moving the shines around to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. I also, at this point, kind of regretted having the base as one solid base and not layering it, because I think ideally I would like to have a base and then a second layer to the base, maybe a third if that's not pushing it, and then the pupil, just to add a little bit more dynamic, which is a note to myself for the next kind of drawing process and learning phase that I'm going to be going through. So as I'm setting up the physics for the eyes, I really like jiggly eyes. I like to be kind of hypnotized by the jiggle in the eyes, and that's kind of what I really wanted to have. And so a lot of this video is just me trying to figure out the correct way to get not too much jiggle to where it's too distracting, and not have too little jiggle to where you barely see it. And I think at the end I kind of came up with what I think is the best grouping of jiggle physics for the eyes, the shines, the pupils, as well as the eyelashes. And I'm really excited to share what that looks like after. It'll probably be in a short that may or may not be already posted at the time of this posting video, just because I wanted to have some behind the scenes progress kind of videos being shown to just share, namely because the point of these pre-debut videos in my eyes is to share the journey that I'm going through, that maybe others are going through, and for those who want to take part in it. I also can't I have a hard time not sharing things when I'm excited about them and wanting to just always post about what I'm working on, or always share with my friends what I'm working on or doing, because there's just so much work put into making the model and rigging the model that I really just wanted to share for people who are also going through this process or enjoy processes like this. And I will never get over how much fun the jiggle physics are in eyes. I've also seen people add like animation to the hair for when the model is just like idle, which I think is really cool. And I have to figure out animation because I wanted to put animation in on the fire that are on top of my head, but I don't quite know how well that'll work, or maybe if I should just figure out a style of jiggle physics that will kind of do what I'm thinking. Because I also don't think I cut that correctly, which is another reason why I wanted to record this process as a pre-debut, because it's almost like a journal for myself on where improvements can go. Namely, since I'm kind of one of the types that has an idea in their head, and if it's not written down or like, you know, physically like put onto paper or like drawn in a way, I will forget, and then it's like, there goes that good idea. So saying it here in like thoughts of, oh, next time when I do a model design, I should cut the fire to be able to animate them in a kind of like a better, different way than what I'm going to be trying to do now. And maybe I can even like improve on how the fire parts of my head look, and maybe I can improve on the style of eye, because from the first video of having to mesh the eye makeup to the lashes, I realized that with how I have it set up, it's not done properly, where the eye kind of is like cut out into the head of the model, when I should have been doing some backing, like skin in a way, and it kind of led to a lot of holes, which you'll see me kind of try to correct in a little bit near the end of this video. But it's something that, since I had made these models, I kind of went into it like, oh, I can draw anime girls, it's fine. And there's so much that, from watching people on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, just seeing their process makes me realize how different my model is, from going from learning, like knowing nothing, to trying to learn as much as I can. So I'm very grateful for this time to take into this process, and I hope that it helps others, or is also someone trying to also figure out how to rig and draw. I cannot recommend Merely Waifu's videos enough. I think she's very good at explaining what is needed, and I've also been saving other shorts or TikToks that are also helpful in the rigging process, and as I use them, I'll have them in the description below. And I quickly opened my drawing in a different file and had moved over the shines that I was missing, which I had realized in the next little bit. I realized why that was happening, and it also is why for my next model drawing, the pixels are gonna be bigger, because I don't remember the exact sizing of the layout that I had for this model, but I know it was smaller because I didn't realize the different sizes. So I think they disappeared because it was too small, and when I did the auto mesh feature, it just erased it because it was too small, I think. If I remember correctly, for just the steps that I've taken for this pre-debut video of the jiggle eye physics, and kind of adding in a little extra surprised stage of my eye, which I thought would be really fun for scary games. if I do play them or for when shocked, surprise. I thought it would just be fun to have that little extra uh, shock factor. I think it was a total of 4, 6 hours because I was struggling hard. I was struggling with the copy and paste flip of the I am working on because I just could not correctly get it to work in my head, and because of the asymmetrical base of my other eye, I needed to move things out of folders, put things into folders, and it kind of got too complicated for my brain to figure out and realize. So a lot of that process, at least 2 hours of the process or more, was spent trying to figure out what is the best way to fix the parameters to flip it. And I tried maybe just picking only one part and working at it one by one, and that kind of didn't end up working, and I'll kind of explain that process a little bit more as we're quickly seeing it, because I was also doing the eyebrows in this time, and the last time I had done a model I made more of like straight brows, and so this time I thought doing the kind of circle brows would be a little bit better for my character design, but I also realized I took away a lot of the expressions in a way that I wanted to convey. So I might play around with it a little bit more after thinking of how I want to have that shown exactly and expressed, but it is something I'm thinking about in the future of how I want my face shape to be designed, because I also think for this model, I think I wanted it to be a little bit more doll cat-like, and I think that's what I'm going to try to emphasize most on my next model design, and learning how to kind of put that into paper, since for my design idea it was based off of Espeon, and how that's kind of quickly changed to be more of a calico, Nekomata type vibe, where it's more kind of demonic spirit cat twin tails, and that's what I really wanting to focus on in the 2.0, is to in a way leave the Pokemon Espeon base behind and create a little bit more where I embrace the blue flames, since as a kid I've always loved the idea of blue flames, and I personally have 3 cats, and so I'm a very big cat person, so I love like twin tail cats and the lore behind them, the spirit behind them, the just mythology behind them, and so that's what I really wanted to focus on my next character design, because for my 2 models now, my shiny and my base that I'm working on, I went with a little bit more casual vibe, but this time I really want to push myself to be better with character design, and I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on. It will probably be a few months until any updates are seen, and there'll probably be multiple revisions, but I'm excited to continue to learn. And if you were wondering what I was doing while yapping, I had realized, I don't know how this happened, it was probably when I was doing the rigging for closing the eye, but somehow the eye I had been working on, the top lash no longer matched the other eye. So I was really thrown off by that and trying to figure out if it was my base model, if I had drawn it that way, which would have been really weird if I had, or if I could easily fix that, which I do end up fixing it. And here's when I had grabbed everything in the eye and had copied pasted, flipped it, and it took everything. And this is where it started to get really confusing because there were so many multiples of the one eye that I couldn't get it to work in my brain for easy design. And then I'd noticed that in my copy and pasting of the other eye and the parameter change, somehow the the lower lash like totally flipped, totally weird and wrong. And so I had to go back and retry it. And you can kind of see here that it doesn't match up the top lash. Even the bottom lash doesn't really match up, which has to have been something in my own design process. I had to have messed up somewhere along the way, that maybe I moved the art when it wasn't in a warp, or maybe I just done something slightly wrong that I hadn't caught in my last process. And so really taking the time to figure out what I had done so will be really beneficial in the future. And I also double checked, it wasn't my art base. I drew it symmetry, so I really don't know how it got messed up, but I do end up fixing it. I am able to flip the parameters onto my other eye by simply taking the parameter base of the eye I had worked on and not taking the artwork that was inside it, flipping that, and then just slowly taking it piece by piece of, okay, the upper lash goes into this warp, this physics, this jiggle area, this lower, the closing it, I had just had to break it apart to where I was seeing it by pieces instead of a whole picture. And something else I had kind of figured out while doing this is, again, just how my own art and not understanding the full how to create a VTuber was coming to light in this process, which, if I remember when I had done my original first base and my shiny, I also kind of struggled with it, but I ended up making it work somehow. And because I didn't record that, I couldn't go back and figure it out. So that's another reason for these pre-debut videos, is to just, again, have a journal of what I'm doing. Since the last video, I've had time to kind of think about more content that I wanted to present and share with everyone. So I know that I briefly mentioned wanting to do shiny Pokemon hunting, and some of the hunts I wanted to do was shiny fossil hunting in Legend CA, and I wanted to do shiny Latios and Latias hunting in Legend ZA. I really like Dynamax adventure hunting, so I thought videos of that would be really fun to do. I really like cozy games such as Stardew Valley, Fields of Mystery, Animal Crossing, Hello Kitty Adventures, just cozy games that would be fun to kind of do let's plays through. Or I was also thinking maybe it would be fun to do goals for the future, which could be dream artist to have make a model for me, just kind of doing videos of testing out different rigging processes, or testing out how to animate through Live 2D, or creating more models and just rigging them while having them around, maybe not even use it, and maybe possibly even streaming in 2 years. So the goal would be to stream in 2028. I would like to do an introduction video, but then I get tied up in, well, if I do an introduction video, do I have to have a lore video? Do I have to kind of have something along those lines? Or kind of trying to think of what the best way to present myself is. I never want to feel overwhelmed with what I have planned and then possibly burn out, because that's kind of what happened last year when I had made my original first base and my shiny model was I there was so much going on that I just it fell through because of just being overwhelmed and burnout. But this year, I am determined to not have that happen. I also want to kind of make friends in the VTubing community and to play games with people. Like I really like co-op games. Like I really enjoyed content boarding and the company, and I really enjoy watching people play Repo. I really enjoy watching. I know we're no longer in the Among Us phase, but I really liked watching Among Us videos. Just kind of, I want to expand my circle, and I want to do it as a VTuber. And even though I did stream early years of COVID, I could never fully feel comfortable with myself presented, and always I wanted to do VTubing back then, which the when I did try VTubing, it didn't go the best way, and so it kind of just made me scared. But this time, I'm not gonna let anyone change my mind or make me feel like shouldn't go into this space that I really want to be in, because I am taking my own future ambitions into my own hands, and that's what I'm pushing myself to do in these pre-debut videos, collect ideas, kind of start building a community, and work on everything as I go, and not need everything to be perfect set up immediately. And once I'm ready to share certain things, like when I want to stream, because maybe I'll be able to stream earlier before 2028, even though my roommate is very loud and definitely would be picked up with the mic. So trying to also balance a full-time job while also learning art, learning rigging, learning everything that can come with content creation, because I still don't know how to add in background music, and that's kind of something where it would be nice to have background music for a little bit more chiller vibe. And I've watched some videos that are talking about creating your own music, which is kind of tempting, even though I know like very basically nothing about creating music. But I'm like, I could learn how to do that, probably, definitely, maybe. But I've if anyone has any answers to how to add background music and not sound effects in DaVinci Resolve before I figure it out and share, please let me know. Because I still have no idea, and maybe that is on me for not for putting a little bit more focus on learning the VTuber drawing process and art and studying that versus focusing on trying to figure out the sound effects. But I figured, hey, if people want to subscribe, want to go along this journey with me, then you're gonna get used to me yapping, stuttering, and just running thoughts rampant. So what better way to learn someone or learn about someone than a pre-debut? Also, if you're wondering what I've been doing for this eye, I had forgotten that for closing the eye, I had meshed the pupil and shines onto the white, so I was struggling trying to figure that out. But you could also kind of see, like here you can see where I had the old eye put, like my shiny model eye, and then I had redrawn it, and you can see it on the base, which it kind of gets hidden with how it's drawn now, but you can really see it on this, and that's because of how I had cut it myself, and how I could never get the base color. I don't know what it is, but for my art tablet that I use, which I think is a Samsung, but every time I do the dropper tool and click on the color I want, it always comes out like a few tints lighter, which I don't understand is maybe a setting on my end, which also if someone knows how to fix that, or if it's something I've done. My tablet's super old. I don't remember what it is exactly, but I can always look it up and figure it out. If someone knows how to help and wants to help, then that'd be great. I also have been playing with the idea of doing the time lapse of my next like learning phase, but I don't know if my tablet I feel like my tablet's gonna crash because with the model I have now that I'm working on, every time I try to save it as a PSD, it says it comes up with a saving error, but I can see the file on the file, but it just has like the refresh symbol. But I can open the file on PSD through the tablet, and I have deleted a lot of my older stuff that no longer needs to be on the tablet. So I don't know why it's coming up with an error of like not enough space in location, or of trying to save on like a shared drive because I share it between my tablet and my PC. Maybe something's going on with that, but I'm a little too scared to do a time-lapse video because what if it crashes and I lose all my progress? But then I'm also like, oh, well, if I lose all my progress, it's better to lose it now when I have my base saved versus in the future when I have everything drawn out and maybe it crashes. Is for the learning process, and right now I've just been sharing it on my TikTok, which is Kuro Kaliko, and here in YouTube Shorts form. So there's always gonna be something to share. Okay, this is where I figured out that I needed to just restart and change up the parameters because I had messed it up to where the inner eye, it was somehow in the wrong spot. So all of that time was wasted, and you're probably gonna think, oh, well, if it was all wasted, why put it in here? And that's because I wanted to show the work that I had been doing. But that's enough about this pre-debut journal journey. I have some questions for anyone watching this video. Do you have a favorite animal? I know last time in the first video I had asked about favorite VTubers, YouTubers, content creators, but I kind of wanted to know more about kind of content you enjoy watching, and to kind of help with ideas on what else I can do besides just cozy gameplaying and Pokemon. Because I also maybe we delve into Digimon, maybe we delve into just a little bit more like roguelikes, because I really enjoy Hades and Hades 2, which maybe it'd be fun to do videos on that. Not necessarily speedruns, even though speedruns are super freaking cool, but since it's been a while since I've played, it'll be another going back through this. But yeah, that's kind of stuff I wanted to know about you. So if you have any answers or want to answer, you can leave them in the comments below. I was also thinking about it, and I kind of wanted to pick your guys' brains on if streaming on Twitch is better, because that's what I used to stream on, or is streaming on YouTube better, because I've seen that's kind of where I watch the most of my content, and just is dual streaming also really good? I know you can stream on TikTok, but I never quite fully understood even when I was streaming, because I was like, but why? And I know it's to kind of like reach out to different people who consume each type of media, but is there one that's overall just better? I know everything can change, and who even knows what will be happening in like a year or two from now, but I just thought it'd be a fun question to ask. Oh my gosh, I just realized that today, the day I'm recording this voiceover, is February 2nd, And the first pre-debut video comes out the 11th. I don't know why I thought I had a month left before pre-debut, but I guess not, and this time is just flying by, or also dragging, depending on how you look at it. But that's so exciting and also nerve-wracking. Maybe I should add in some random sound effects just to stop from yapping and overwhelming myself. Alright, I did try to go through the sound effects and maybe was gonna add some, but again, I could not find ones that I wanted to add. But, that's great. Really, really could use some background music right now, some elevator music maybe, ASMR, but oh well. So for this process of what I'm doing now, this is when I just took the parameters, copied that, and flipped it over, and started to review which, in the eye that I had already done, which layers, which piece of art goes into that parameter. So I was just kind of doing a review back and forth. So it's a little bit tedious, but it was the way that I found that worked for me, and then it helped make sure that I wasn't missing anything, and to kind of see a little bit more of what happened and what I need to do in the future to make it better, which having asymmetrical heterochromia eyes would be nice. Like, that would make it a lot easier to copy paste flip over, but that's not gonna happen. And I also noticed that on the parameters it was kind of still connected to the original eye, so then I took some time in the next little bit to separate from IL open to IR open, and L smile to R smile, for which eye it goes to. The eye that I'm calling the left eye is the eye that I had previously worked on, and the eye that I'm calling the right eye is the pink, purple, yellow eye. I don't know if that's technically correct. I figured, well, who does it really matter at the end of the day? Which maybe it does, and if it does, that will be another learning lesson because as soon as I spend a little bit more time on Bridger and adding a lot more depth to the mouth on this face, that's kind of when I'll probably learn yeah, it does matter, or oh, you're pretty fine with getting away with having the having the eye picked and choosed on what I have, at least. Also, this may or may not come as either surprise or no surprise, but I yet again forgot that the white of the eye was its own warp and its own its own moving of the objects, because man, it took a little bit too long to remember that it is its own thing and kind of moving it to fit. But this time it worked out a lot better than the first time that we had seen earlier in this video. And it was a little bit quicker pick up on, and here you can see I was practicing with physics and making sure that everything was working. I didn't correct it in this video, but I corrected it after. I did notice that the eye on the purple pink eye, the crease right above it doesn't move. I had forgotten that bit. Look at me saying that separating the parameters and doing it piece by piece helped not miss anything. But yep, here we are missing something in here. But I was able to fix it, and you'll see it in the next pre-debut video that I will have posted probably within a week after when this one's posted. And maybe I'll do a little bit more like script working, so these yap sessions aren't kind of all over the place, or maybe you like all over the place chit chat and talking, but you know, running out of things to say. Oh, also in the background, I've been working on my own thumbnail designs, which you will be able to see in these next few videos. I've been drawing my own thumbnails and kind of thinking about what I wanted to do and how to best express myself, which has been a really fun step. There's so much that goes into just this small of content creating that is really opening my eyes. And if you've made it this far into the video, I just wanted to say thank you. And I again really can't wait to take this journey with everyone and really continue on just being better in what I want to produce and come out with. Better art, better videos, better ideas. Like, there's so much that I aim to get better at. So again, thank you. For the last little bit of this video, it's when I had taken my the top of the lash base from my drawing and had moved it over. And again, you can see that it was moved in my art. Like, it doesn't line up with what I had originally drawn. So that's also why I think it was something where maybe before I put the parameters, I had changed, I had accidentally moved the art, which happens. But I had to figure out why it wasn't closing, and if I had to redo the whole eye closing process again, which I was kind of dreading in the moment, since I had already spent over 2 hours with just eye jiggles and copy and pasting, namely the copy and pasting part. But it's so funny how I had figured out how it needed to close, and I can't believe it took so long because I didn't do the mesh on it. I didn't do the warp on it. I had just left it thinking that it'll automatically change. No, it needs to have the meshing done to it to manipulate the art to close. So I felt really silly after I had realized what I needed to do, and all these things of trying to figure it out. Because here, see, I'm gonna kind of close it. I'm gonna try to add on the mesh, and you'll be like, oh, why didn't you do it at the first time you had clicked on it? You were so close. I don't know. It was not crossing my mind to remember to do that. But you know, when learning, some stuff happens. Alright, here it is. This is when I figure it out, hit that mesh, and it closes. It works. It took so long to figure that out. That one tiny thing to remember that that's what I had done. But now the eye is symmetrical, it jiggles, it all moves the way I want to move. It does that like eye roll. It has so much movement to it that's also why I wanted to look into vtuber, because the shiny model should have that, but I was testing it earlier and I couldn't see that. And this is also where I had figured out that the mesh size was too small for the eye shines. I had also seen that not all of the eye shines were jiggling, so I had to take a few steps back and figure that out. But everything else works and moves the way I want it to move, and maybe there'll be some tweaks here and there as I do the rest of the face, because I still have to do head turning, the eye, the hair, trying to figure out the body movements. And I saw the lean feature, which I don't understand how to do that, so maybe that's something that I'm going to spend a full video trying to learn and look up how to do, since I do really like it. Or maybe the way I cut this model, it's not going to work, so I guess that'll be a good way to figure that out on what I need to improve for my next model and my next rigging journey. But don't be surprised if you see constant changes and constant things of, oh, I'm gonna redo the model design, because there's so much to learn. I've said that so many times now. I feel like a broken record, but I'm just so enamored by this whole process that I just want to keep doing it. And yeah, I hope it doesn't become annoying, but we're going to reach the end of this voiceover. So again, just wanted to say thank you again for coming along, and I can't wait for more. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I know that one was a little bit longer. It took a while because there was some complications and some realizations that came for my VTuber, but for now, that's the end of my second video for pre-debut, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Thanks, have a good day, bye!